I will be a part of this weekend. But this is my first panel day, I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm a Twitch streamer mainly. Do a variety of video games. I do a little bit of YouTube. Not much because I got married last month. But yeah, and then I run a lot of panels at cons. So, but on topic of being married, this guy over here, who will introduce himself, he was my officiant. He married me.
Yeah, I did.
And my husband. You can marry people now.
I can, yes. Tell your friends.
Welcome to the club.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, you can marry people too?
I married my sister
Awesome.
earlier in 2020.
Beautiful.
That's incredible.
As you alluded to, my name is Volrathxp. I'm another one of the community guests here. I've done a myriad of different kinds of panels at pony conventions. I try to always do something a little different at every con I go to. I also have done a lot of stuff with GOHs, that sort of thing. If anybody was here it was at Trotcon last year, I ran a live stage D&D game with the GOHs that were there last year. So I always try to do a lot of different stuff. I do a lot of tabletop stuff. I do a lot of Magic the Gathering stuff. I'm a fan fiction author. I'm a content creator in the Magic and D&D spaces. I've done a lot of this stuff, and I've got a lot of experience also with what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah. So you guys want to host panels, huh?
Maybe.
In the near future, or maybe is anybody a first year Trotcon in this room? Anybody?
No?
Okay, that's good. But sounds like everybody in here wants to host a panel. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Or me on one.
Honestly, this panel is more of an open Q&A. So any questions you have for us, we could definitely tell you stories about what our best panel is, what our worst panel is we've done. How many years have you been doing panels?
Since my first Trotcon, so that was 2017. So yeah.
Damn, I graduated college in 2017.
I'm old.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I've been doing this a while.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're
No, you're
fine.
okay.
It's okay.
I've been doing panels since Winnie City PonyCon 2022. It was actually the first time I ran a panel. I was very nervous. And there was a fellow pony friend named Databyte, and he's known for, if you've ever gone to any of the Charlie Cons in Chicago or Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you will see this guy wearing a derpy robe. But he's basically was just like, yeah, I can tell you're nervous on stage, but here's some tips and tricks so you can be a better panelist. And then I started doing more, and then I got invited to more, and then I became the head of panel programming here, and then I signed up for, yeah, you guys know the story.
You're right.
But yeah, we're basically here. I mean, literally this PowerPoint is 3 slides. No joke. The second slide is just so then the animations stop moving, so then you guys aren't distracted by the screen and like the text like glowing yellow and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean this is pretty open. I don't need a mic. But yeah, if you guys have questions, please feel free to raise your hands, ask us anything.
I think let's start with the biggest first thing. Coming up with a panel idea is huge. Like that's like big in your mind. Like what do I want to present at a convention that I think people are going to come to, or that, and in my experience doing this, don't always think about the fact that you're going to get people to come to it. Think about what you would like to see and what you would like to run, because a lot of times if you try too hard to try to please what you think the crowd is going to want, it may not turn into something that you want to actually produce and want to actually put out there.
Yeah.
So be yourself as much as you can and put as much of yourself into these things as you want to, and what you want to talk about, what you want to see.
The biggest thing is like, and you can easily tell like when panelists are truly passionate about what they present versus like, I could really care less about being here. Honestly, this idea was, this idea of this panel came up from someone asking in the Trotcon Discord about like running a panel and technical difficulties and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And we were just giving advice like left and right. Like,
And then she and I connected on this weird mind meld. We were like, well, this makes a really good panel idea. And she was like, I literally just told my husband that.
yeah.
So,
I was also in the meantime trying to shoot for a high record. Does anyone know of a brony named Thoth Penswell? Or
Kind of,
with ponies?
kind of
Thoth is Trotcon royalty
He is.
and one of the legendary figures of the early Trotcon age. Yeah, for sure.
And is still, I mean, a legend in the brony community.
For sure. If
Um,
anybody's ever heard of Rift Ponies.
He's
that's-
mainly social media head for HarmonyCon. So if you
Yes.
guys are in the Texas area, or at least see the tweets, you definitely know that it's a Thoth thing.
Yeah.
He has the record here of being a part of 19 panels and events. So I'm over here on my couch while giving advice about how to run a panel. Like, what can I do for my 20th panel?
To
So I can
top
set up
Thoth.
to top Thoth and make a record.
Oh, that was a bad statement.
It's fine. So this panel was totally last minute, but we were both like, hey, this is a great idea. I think people would generally be interested in.
Yeah.
Like, we're both chaotic enough to give good advice at least, and to give maybe bad advice, but
I give all sorts of bad advice. Does anybody have any questions about anything panel related they want to ask them?
please feel free
Please.
to.
So, what is the very first step? Like, who would you reach out to? Like, what is the ultimate first thing?
Okay, that's a good question.
Mhm.
Panel applications
Yes.
is the big first step. So every convention you go to is going to have some sort of panel application form that you're going to pull up. It's usually a Google form of some sort that you're going to fill out, and it's going to include all sorts of information on there. You're going to be asked, what your panel's called. You're going to be asked what your panel's about.
There's definitely like a lot of the forms I feel are the same.
Yeah,
Like have the
they
same
tend to all
questions.
be
They'll
almost
ask
the
you
same.
for your legal name and your fandom name, obviously for recording purposes, a best email to get in touch with you, and like you said, panel name and panel
Mhm.
description. There are some cons who get more technical, like why do you want to host this panel, like in particular? Do you
Yeah.
have a time frame of when you would like this panel to be done? Like, do you want it Friday morning or do you want this on Sunday afternoon? A common question is like maturity. Is this for everybody? Is this have a little bit of like
Yeah.
a
Are you in
little
13
bit
plus?
13 plus basically, or is this we're going full on lewd 18 plus and up? So,
Yeah.
and keep in mind with the 18 plus panels too, you're only limited to mostly the first 2 days of the con,
Yes.
first 2 nights of the con.
Yes.
Because Sunday closing ceremonies at 5, obviously there's no 18 plus panels
Right.
after that.
I will also note that if you ever venture out to a convention like Evergreen Northwest, one thing to remember about Evergreen Northwest is all of their panels are family friendly. They do not run any 18 plus content at Evergreen Northwest.
Anything that gets
So-
submitted is immediately shut down.
Yep. So just don't even think about it, because they do get submissions. Amazingly enough, even though they're upfront about it, I have heard from their panel programming head that they get 18 plus submissions all the time, even though people don't. So read the rules
Yeah.
of what, that's also very important. Read about the convention and what they're about and what their rules are for submitting panels.
Or ask a friend who's been to those cons.
Yeah, that's,
honestly.
yeah, that's
Or just
true.
ask in their Discord, like,
Yeah.
hey, I wanna submit an idea. Is this an 18 plus con or what?
A lot of times they will, their panel programming heads will also be in their Discords as well.
Yeah, hi.
And they'll reach out to you and they'll let you know what they think or whatnot. So they'll give advice.
But
So,
don't let your 18 plus panel idea be like, oh, I'm not limited to submitting this to Everfree. Think outside the box. So for example, I host a panel called Watching Paint Dry. The first year we did this was actually family friendly at Winnie City PonyCon. We only ran it for 30 minutes. We also used actual paint.
Oh.
You guys will understand the horror if you come to this panel later, but I realized along with my co-panelists that this was meant for more of a mature audience. So we took that approach going into
Trotcon last
Trotcon. No,
Yeah.
not last year.
year. Yeah, it was last year.
It was
Right.
Winnie City 23 was when we debuted Paint Dry.
You did paint dry at Winnie City
23.
for
For family friendly.
family friendly, and then you ran it at 18 plus at Trotcon that same year.
I thought, okay, thank you.
It was when Taylor came.
You right,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it was
Thank
when
you.
Taylor came, so that was last year.
So
Yeah,
that was-
last,
yep.
Yeah, that was last year.
No, 2 years ago.
Is it? I thought it was last year. Last year
No.
Taylor came.
Then I ran it at Ponyville Cider Fest with 23 then.
Yeah, I don't know that you ran the, no, you didn't. No, you
Oh, no, I didn't. No,
No, you
I
didn't.
I submitted it, I got
You did,
denied.
I submitted it, yeah. That's
You
the
can
other.
tell being a panelist is like when you forget when you have your
Yeah.
panels.
Yeah.
You just remember the cons you performed them at. You don't remember years after that point.
Yeah.
But we submitted it for a mature audience and we got exceedingly well numbers with it. And we were like, okay, this is 100% the route that we need to go on.
Yeah.
And so we planned it at that. So like, if I were to ever submit Watching Paint Dry for free, yeah, I will go out of my way to make it family friendly. So then I can not only comply with the convention, but then I could bring a panel like that to Everfree Northwest. Am I though? No, I missed the deadline for everything Everfree, and I didn't realize I was going up until about 2 weeks ago. So
She's rooming with us, so it's okay.
I get to be an attendee for once.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I'll actually be a guest panelist.
You're gonna be a guest panelist because Taylor's got you on panel.
Yeah.
He's already putting Amber to work.
But yeah, so going back to the question, like what are the steps? So you will submit your application, fill out the Google form, and 9 times out of 10, because it is a Google like form you're filling out, you will get a copy of that response.
Yeah.
Or you will get an automated email saying, hey, thanks for applying, your panel name, you will hear back by this deadline, and you'll know when the deadline is because it'll be posted on the cons website, Discord, socials, all that. And then that's when panel programming staff, will go through all of the submissions, and we will start reading, like, through every single response. What's the panel name? Has this person presented this before? Or have they been a panelist before? Are they a first timer? Is this something that we want to see at Trotcon? Because, hold on, I have the perfect words I wrote down for this, and in my head right now it's not popping up, so.
I'm gonna, while she's looking that up,
Yep.
I'm gonna say that being a first-time panelist is also not a ding against you.
No.
They
Okay.
will accept all sorts of first-time panelists because getting fresh content in the door is helpful to a con. Like, they want to see new stuff. You don't always want to see the same repeat panels over and over and over. But now, another thing to think about, like she mentioned the Google form, those are a lifesaver if you ever need to submit that same panel to somewhere else, because you can just go back to that form and go, okay, I want to copy and paste the panel description and what it's about, because I don't want to have to retype all that out.
Yeah.
So,
I personally have a Word document of all of my panel ideas
Yeah.
that I have, whether I've submitted them or not. But with those panel descriptions, the titles, and then even like the time frame, like is this 18 plus or family friendly, or 13 plus, because I do host a couple of those. How long did I run this for? What's been successful? What am I thinking? But the criteria that we mainly like look for, it's not just shaped by content, but also by attendee interest, quality of pitch, and overall programming balance. So we're always trying to look at the bigger picture of what are attendees going to be most excited to see. So what would create the buzz and the community engagement? So sometimes that could mean that a few panels will speak out of curiosity or even confusion, but more often than not, they're going to be a crowd favorite. Granted, I had to send somebody this same exact response. That's why I was like, I had it so perfectly worded out. Granted, there are panels that are like, you can submit, not get a good attendance record at one con, but have it exceed numbers at another.
Yeah.
So don't let it be like, oh, well, I will just never submit it to this con again, or no, I will just never submit it again. No, keep trying.
Yeah.
You just need to find your audience.
And then there's panels where you're like, this is never gonna hit. You're like there's no way, and it ends up being like a major hit with the people. Like,
That's how I felt with Paint Dry, honestly.
yeah. Last year at Trotcon, our good friend that we keep referring to, and I'm sure you probably know who he is. He's the resident Starlight Glimmer fanatic in the fandom. Taylor B. McCardle.
He literally
runs-
wears an all, like his outfit
has-
is
yeah,
all
he's
Star
all
Starlight
Wars.
Glimmer, yes, yes.
Taylor's awesome, but last year he came to Trotcon for his first ever Trotcon, and there was a panel that he had submitted that he was just like, I don't know how this is gonna go, and I don't know that this is gonna land well with anybody. It was a panel that he came up with that just off the cuff, and it was just a really, really dumb idea. And it was called Asking Pony Plushies the Tough Questions.
That was so fun.
And
I love that.
it hit so well that he was like, I'm running this again at every convention I can submit it to. So you're gonna have those too. You're gonna have those panels where you're like, okay, there's no way that anybody's gonna like this. And people are gonna show up and go, you're gonna go, oh, okay.
Taylor also had panels that are like major hits at other cons, but they didn't get the attendance audience
No.
of, what it was last year. I was even the same way with, is anyone familiar with Wicked Karting at all? Drunk Mario Kart tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Brass Crab and I posted this idea and started it in Ponyville Cider Fest 2022. Was super successful with it, so we kept running it at all the Charlie Cons. Again, Charlie Cons is Winnie City Pony Con and Ponyville Cider Fest. We brought it to Trot for the first time last year and it flopped.
Yeah.
But that was mainly because we weren't allowed to bring in alcohol. We had to get creative with the drink choices, and that just honestly drew away so many people. So we're really excited to bring it back this year. Honestly, I think we're gonna get good numbers with it again. But again, it can be a hit or miss. This Wicked Karting is one of my favorite panels.
Yeah.
Like top one. Doesn't mean I'm an alcoholic, I swear. But it's one of my favorites because it was an original idea that I don't know, I came up and I have a great co-host. We always go above and beyond every year to try to make it better for everybody, and everyone just loves to enjoy it. I mean, we've had shots bought for us.
Yeah.
Even at Cider Fest, we had to cooperate with the hotel's policy with alcohol, and we couldn't provide, we couldn't bring in outside beer, but we could utilize the bar because they had $5 ciders. We had half of the people in the room just contributing bottles after bottles after bottles for all the racers. We didn't ask them to do that. We were like, look, if you want to play, you have to pay to play, $5. Sorry,
Yeah.
we can do what we can. But I was also trying to come up with a wedding,
Right.
so my money was really tight. But it was incredible just to see so many people come together and then have that one person be like, I just bought 10 bottles. That's $50. You didn't have to pull that money out of your butt and do that, but
Right.
people all come together, and that's why it's one of my favorites. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
I ramble a lot.
No, you're fine. So, like she said, at that point, the panel programming folks. They just started Drax laptop. See, we said it was okay if they just came in and stole it in the middle of the panel. That's the thing that can happen in the middle of your panel. Somebody might just come in and steal a laptop. It's fine. But
I think that's a Trotcon first.
yeah. So one of the big things that's going to happen is, like she said, the panel programming, our leads are going to review your panels. You're probably not going to hear anything
For
from
a
a while after you submit your panel. If you submit, depending on when you submit your panel. If you submit your panel when panel pad application's open, you're probably not going to hear anything for a couple months.
Yeah. And that's totally normal.
Yeah.
So the panel programming is one of the, I don't want to say the least important, because it's important, but the core staff is also trying to coordinate with our guests of honor and the contracts. They're trying to coordinate with musicians and their contracts and vendors and their contracts. Those are huge.
And the venue.
And then panelists, you guys don't get paid. We don't need to sign a contract from you. You're just like, oh, you have an idea? Great. We would love to have you on board.
Right.
So, but there will be a moment where we'll be like, okay, panel application emails got sent out, or not application, acceptance emails got sent out. Check your spam. Denial on waitlist is also a thing.
Yes.
So if your panel gets waitlisted, don't think it's the end of the world, because it by chance could get, someone could not come to the con anymore, and then boom, your panel's up next.
I mean, we had that exactly happen with this convention, where we had a panelist who was running a large number of panels 2 weeks before the con, said, I can't make it. And we had to scramble. And this one did a heck of a lot of work to scramble.
This is why I'm dying this week.
Yeah, it is, but
Mainly.
you did a good job.
Thank you.
And
All dying on the inside.
we scrambled, and the community stepped up. and said, yeah, I got this idea, I'll submit this idea, blah, blah, blah. So it really works out. So yeah, if you get waitlisted, don't think it's like the end of the world. Like that's the wait list. That just says, hey, if somebody doesn't show up, you might still have a chance to run this. And
if you still don't hear anything, because sometimes cons will be like, okay, let's at least get the acceptance letters out.
Yeah.
Like, don't overthink it too much just yet. Like, still, you can still add us and be like, hey, like, I submitted this panel. Do I have an update about it? I heard panel acceptance letters went out, but I didn't get anything. Really, reach out to us. Like, I would rather tell you, like, hey, I'm so sorry, this, your panel was denied, this was the reason why. Or, hey, like, I'm still debating if we want to add this panel into the lineup, so right now we have it on a wait list. Like, but that would be the reason why, especially this con, like, I don't think we send out wait lists.
No.
We just send out acceptance and denial, which
Denials,
honestly wasn't much denials, other than the 2 panelists who couldn't make it and had the chunk of panels that,
Yeah.
That was my denial list this year. That was it. It was just the 2 people who couldn't show up. So everyone basically who submitted something got approved. Honestly.
And another recommendation there, as a panelist, we all do it. You get a denial, you're like, you want to tell your friends,
Oh, please don't go posting on social media.
Don't do it on social media. Like in your private Discords or whatever, you can say, hey, I didn't get the panel or whatever,
And I'm feeling flustered.
And I'm feeling flustered. You're like, and you can confide to your friends and have them console you about it, because that is where your friends are good for.
Don't go to the staff.
Don't go to the staff. Don't go to the social media.
If you want to ban yourself from a con, you could do that.
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way to do that, is to complain. Yeah, or be like, well, now I'm not coming to the con.
Yeah.
Like, that's also kind of, like if you were coming anyways as an attendee and you're just wanting to send some panels to have some fun, then that's great. You're still coming to the con. You're still going to have fun with your friends.
Yeah.
You're still going to have a good time.
I find it wild with us being community guests as well. There is a question on some community guest applications saying, what happens if you don't get community guests? And one of the answers is like, well, then just deny all my panels. I won't show up. So, which can be, I don't know, I feel so off on this because of that's just, I saw a lot of y'all faces and you were probably thinking the exact same thing. However, there are people who are coming in internationally or traveling very far to be here, and if they're not gonna get I guess they're so entitled to have the title, but whatever, right?
Yeah,
They're just not gonna be there. It's it's gonna be difficult on them just to be there as a panelist. So they rather would do something more, or family emergencies come up, right?
Yeah.
It happens, personal emergencies. So I don't know, I'm
So yeah, that's
it's an icky question, but
that's the start and finish of a panel. If you get your panel,
approved, jump for joy.
Yeah,
Scream.
jump for joy, scream.
Call your husband call your soon-to-be husband in the middle of Michael's and break down crying, saying, "I got a panel approved." Because that's what happened to me. I was so excited.
I will also recommend don't immediately start going to post to social media.
Yes.
Because a lot of times the cons will send out their panel acceptance emails before they publish their official schedule. And so if something were to change and you've already put it out in the world, hey, I'm doing my panel, and now all of a sudden you're not, oh crap. So
especially because panels can get moved around too at last minute.
yes.
You could have somebody like a musician who's also part of a panel, and then they're like, hey, I can't do the panel at this time that was originally created because I will be at my set or I will be helping out with a set. Can you move it to something else? So, and then we would have to reach out to another panelist and be like, hey, are you comfortable with swapping this? So then they, because this is what's going on. And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be like, yeah, totally fine. So, but that person could be like, no, because I am running a panel with another person at this time. And then that's when panel programming is like, how the hell do we juggle everything?
I definitely had a conversation with the panel programming lead at Evergreen who said,
oh, I was going to say me.
At Evergreen, who said that, and I quote, that it is very difficult sometimes to schedule around Taylor because of how many panels that Taylor hosts, but also because of how many other panels people want Taylor on. And so they have to plan around that. So always assume, because as a panelist, usually as a panelist, you're going to get to see that schedule before everybody else. Because they're going to tell you, hey, this is when your panel's supposed to be. Are you okay with this? Or is it okay to move it? Or do we need to make changes? Always assume that first schedule that you see is not going to be the final schedule, like at all. Like it's always going to be different by the end of the.
It's funny that you specifically brought that up because making the schedule for this year's Trotcon, I went in with that mindset of like, okay, how do I schedule myself to be at all these panels without overlapping or overlapping panels? It is hard, but I think how I approached it is before I started adding panels to the schedule, I scheduled all of mine that I was a part of first. Then I got that out of the way, and then I looked at the other panelists and was like, okay, so this person has, like, Volrath, you're a part of, what, 6 panels this weekend?
Yeah, something.
So then I looked at his, and I'm like, okay, like, where can I fill in the gaps? And I kept doing that till I broke it down to the people who were only running one panel, and that was it, because they're going to be the ones who have the most free space. They're not going to care what time slot they got, unless they specified, but 9 times out of 10, they don't care. They're just happy they got a panel. So, and they're going to be happy with whatever time I choose for them. Sorry, but that's how I went with it, and honestly, it was easy.
Right.
I didn't think it was that hard, but that's how I took it. But everyone processes things differently in their head, so they're not me.
I alluded to this with talking about Taylor too, because it comes up quite a bit. But
Taylor.
if you are going to have co-panelists on your panel, make sure that you ask them to be on your panel before you submit that panel application entirely. Like, before you even hit the submit button, make sure that everybody that's going to be on that panel is okay with being on that panel. Because you don't want to put somebody's name on there, especially somebody who may be reasonably popular in the community, and then ask them after the fact.
However, go into your panels without having your guest list at the moment.
Yeah.
Because you can submit it with no other co-panelists,
Yes.
and that's totally okay. But then you can start rallying your co-panelists, even if you're still awaiting on approval or denial. But once that panel is approved, then you can check back with your panelists and be like, hey, this is the scheduled date and time. Are you still okay and on board with this?
Yeah.
Do we need to move things around, or is this something that you have to drop out? And be okay with the fact that if they have to drop out because of other obligations. So, I mean, that's how I rally my panelists. But I also, like, when I go into it, I'm like, okay, what other 5 people could I ask if this one person drops out?
Right.
So.
Yeah, I like that approach too. That approach works really well too, is to just put yourself on there, and then you can figure out co-panelists later if you think you're going to need co-panelists.
Especially when your panel approval letter comes in, they will ask you to reply to the email confirming not only like your panel name description, but also your co-panelists. So if there's any last minute changes that you need to make, that would be the time to do it. However, let's say you already sent that email, still having no co-panelists in mind, and then someone like Volrath is like, hey, I'll be a part of your panel.
Yeah.
Just reach out to the panel programming people on Discord or
And
Twitter.
let them know. Yeah.
Yeah, or quickly send that email and be like, hey, I actually have a last minute adjustment. Is it possible we can get this fixed? 9 times out of 10, no problem. You know, the sooner the better. However, if we're talking like 2 days before the con and you're asking me to add a co-panelist into the programming book, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
No.
We have those should be printed in advance and well
Yes.
set up. And they're already listed on the website, but just that's a good mindset going into the next time you go to a con and you submit the panel again and you want to have that same co-panelist, submit them early rather than later.
Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, sorry, we've been talking a
Yeah,
lot.
no, it's fine. No, we're
I've
good.
got I guess 2 questions. The first is, how much of a impact on the application does having a social media presence versus not really being on social media have for acceptance rates?
Not at all, as long as we can still communicate through you in some way, preferably email.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So
I've
it's
got
great to
emails.
it's honestly great to have socials, just so then, which by the way, y'all are welcome to take a business card later. But then people can find you, because like I said, I do things on Twitch. You
Yeah.
guys probably didn't know that about me until opening ceremonies. But yeah, so like you can come check out my 18 plus content later. or just like see what else I'm doing at the con.
Yeah.
So, but if you don't have socials, totally cool.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think that really has any major factor into them accepting or denying your panel.
Yeah, no, not at all.
They're
Okay.
looking mainly at the content of the panel and your pitch is really what they're looking for.
Okay. And
So
like,
second question.
yeah, second
Yep.
one, speaking of content, how, when we're submitting our applications, should we do any like pre-research on like panels that are known to be like perennial staples, just so you avoid overlap and stepping on each other's hooves? Or just,
I think they're asking like looking at panels that are already out there at various cons and making sure they're not submitting something similar.
Oh man,
Yeah.
oh, this is a panelist pet peeve.
Yeah.
So if you, yes, do your research for sure. Talk to friends, talk to people in the discords of like conventions. Definitely learn, I'm gonna say maybe the past 2 or 3 years of what like cons have been submitting it for panel wise. However, if you know something like Wicked Karting, you see that and you're like, oh, I want to host a drunk Mario Kart tournament at HarmonyCon, because, spoiler alert, I've never been out there yet. Please know who that panelist is and ask for permission
Yes.
first.
Yes.
So there is nothing more pet peeved when you, the original panelist, submits your idea or your pitch, and you already know like, this has been ran in the past, this is, you know, I know the con likes it, everything's gonna go well, and then you get a message saying, hey, someone else submitted the same idea, would you like to be a co-panelist?
Yeah.
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 So I will relate actually this directly, personally with me. I have a panel that I am running tonight at 9:45. Yeah, 9:45. Called Crack That Ship. It's a 21 plus, 18 plus panel. It is not the first time that panel has been presented at other cons. It has been at Charlie Cons. It was at HarmonyCon 1 year because Vivid was there. But it was originally presented by my good friend, Vivid Syntax, who does a lot of work for Ponyville Cyberfest and Winnie City. I have been a part of the panel since its inception. So the first year that he ran it, I was on his panel with him. And I have been a part of it pretty much every time except for the one at HarmonyCon, because I have never been to HarmonyCon. And when we got done with Cyberfest last year and we did it, I had asked him, I said, I believe I might want to try and submit this for like Trotcon and for like a future cons that you don't go to. So that was the clarifying. If you're not going to be at this con, is it okay if I submit this and run this panel?
And 9 times out of 10,
And
they will
Vivid
say,
was like, hell yeah, like go for it. Like he just loves the panel idea and he thinks it's cool and he wants to see it. So I'm running it tonight. I also have it submitted for Heartwarming Club in December. And he's fully aware of the fact that I'm running it and totally okay with that. So if it's something like that where you know that panelist is not going to make it to that con you want to submit it to, and you want to help them carry that idea to a different audience, reach out and ask them about it and have that conversation and that discussion. Because that really helps. They really appreciate that because they really want to know because 9 times out of 10, it's kind of their idea. Like it's their original thing, so.
Speaking of from personal experience, watching paint dry was not mine. I honestly forget his name now, but he is a panelist and he only goes to Bear Fair. I went to their first year, not knowing anything, honestly, but it was fun. I asked if he would ever bring it to any of the other conventions. He was like, nope, I don't go to any of those. And I was like, well, can I bring it to some of those cons? He was like, sure. So that worked out. Feelings Forum was originally created by
Shoot, I don't remember.
Forward Progress.
Oh yes, it was Forward, yes.
And he and I both agreed that, alongside with Ellie Ray, to bring that to any convention. So you want to be a community guest is actually a Taylor panel.
Yeah.
And I got permission through him. And there was one more. I'm blanking. Oh, Who's Line. So
That's a saber and
Who?
race thing.
yes, I actually talked to them personally. I think it was at a Winnie or Cider Fest. everything's blurring together.
Yes.
It was a CharlieCon. And I asked him about hosting an After Dark, and he told me, like, you can if you want to. I personally feel that the humor is, like, not all there. Plus, I have people that I like to have as actors or pianists or whatever, and they don't like the 18 plus side of things. They like to keep things family friendly. So, and I'm like, okay, like, as long as you're cool if I can host an After Dark, that's fine. And they're like, yeah, go for it. And Taylor has been actually hosting Who's Line as well. So a lot of, for my first time hosting Who's Line, Taylor has been a huge help with that. So if you guys know Taylor, you'll definitely feel his spirit tonight. Self-promotion, but yeah.
We had one question up here.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, once you have your idea, how do you recommend people go about putting together their content, or what end they want to deliver in their content?
That's going to depend a lot on what you're wanting to present. So like your idea could be like, what was the one we ran last year at Winnie? So we ran, we had submitted a camp. So last year's Winnie City was summer camp, and my wife and I submitted a campfire sing-along. And originally we were like, hey, we're gonna have like, one of the panel rooms, and we're gonna pull, like the chairs back, and people can sit in, circles around, and we're gonna watch Legend of Evergreen. We're gonna campfire sing-along like Legend of Evergreen without real fire, because we're in a hotel. And at some point, and we had like all these really good ideas for it, and we were just putting everything together.
Even like roasting marshmallows.
Yeah, that didn't happen. But at some point, the panel programming had reached out and was like, hey, we normally do an episode screening on Saturday morning of the con. Would you like to make that your campfire thing, and you guys can do it in Maine? And I was like, cool. Like, yeah, that would be fine. And we made like goodie bags and stuff like that. We had little fake fires, and everybody had like their own little tents that they could sit under and stuff, and it was fun. But yeah, just like it's gonna depend on what you're doing. So like a panel like that is way different than a panel like this where it's just discussion, or a panel where you're gonna be having like lots of like content on slides and stuff. So it's just gonna be depending on what you want out of it. And honestly, as soon as you hit submit on that, ideally, you should start working on it. Ideally. It doesn't happen always.
No, it never
I can definitely confirm that my wife literally looked at the Bluey panel that we're running tomorrow morning today. I gave it to her in April, and she has been so busy and has not been able to look at it until today. So it happens, but
we've been busy because he married us, and I dragged their butts to Michigan, and we got married, so they were a part of our wedding. So
yeah.
So we've been busy.
Yeah.
As the panel programming head, I definitely like the first, I'm gonna say 16 days of July, I was solely focused on that schedule grid and trying to rally things together because we had that panelist drop out with like a huge gaping holes in the schedule. I was literally running around so much, and then when that was all done, I had, like 5 days to throw all my panels together?
Yes, yeah, you did.
And a lot of my panels are like this, where it's only 3 slides. This can be done, I know people say like this can only take me like 2 seconds, but I like to put a little bit more thought into it, and you guys will probably see it on the next slide. So yeah, that took me about 5-10 minutes to do. But then there's like the Bluey Appreciation panel that I'll be hosting. I had to use DaVinci and edit all those videos into one so they can seamlessly run for an hour long without ending the episode, closing out the video player, clicking on, instead of that whole process, I can just hit a button, let it go. So, but I put a lot of thought and care into my panels. Yes, I stay up till 3 in the morning to do them. And I did it all in 5 days, but granted, there are panels like this where if Volrath and I wanted to bring this to another convention, I don't need to make any adjustments to this.
Right.
This is done. As long as the QR codes that'll be posted later are still valid links, I don't have to touch it.
Yeah.
But if it's, let's say he changed up his link, boom, 5-second fix, done.
Yeah.
So, and it's a lot. I have a folder at on my desktop computer at home. to where it's all the panels for conventions, and just each panel idea has their own little folder. So then all I have to do is fix whatever, and then once that's done, copy, paste into a folder for the convention of this year. You guys can see the file at the like what my flash drive looks like, and I can kind of show you that aspect.
And like, there's been panels I've worked on where it's like, okay, this panel is very PowerPoint, like very slide heavy. So like I do a lot of, so I'm a fan fiction author, and for a long time there I ran a panel about Fallout Equestria, because I write in the Fallout Equestria space. And so I ran a panel about that, and that's just a big old PowerPoint about various aspects of the world and the side fictions and how to write and that sort of thing. And that's just a lot of info dump. So it just really depends on what you want to do. I'd say the hardest ones to do that are probably the most time investment are the game show style panels, because you have to really think about like the audience.
I'm sorry, but that
Oh, God,
must
yes.
have taken forever.
That's This
That's
stuff
for a
here-
different panel, but he
Yes.
is.
No. I
We're aware, but we're saying like to set that up and get that in here and know that this is where you're going to be, and yeah,
It's
it's a
funny
lot of logistics.
It's funny because that panelist literally approached me after opening ceremonies. They're like, hey, so I started pre-decorating this room, but I want to know if it's okay for the other panels that are going to be in this room up until my time slot. And I was like, okay, let me see. So I came over here and I was like, oh, yeah, I definitely don't want you to take the 15-minute time slot that you will have and try to put that up. No, that takes way too much time and care and dedication. Like, sorry for my language, but holy shit, like that probably took hours. Like,
I'm gonna say almost 3. Let's say 2.5. Most.
Yeah.
He's very fast.
Yeah. So yeah,
oh, that's not. I know that's not helium,
No, that's just air.
right?
Yeah,
but
that-
still, it's
that kind
that's
of prep is
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your prep is just gonna look so different depending on what you want to do.
But with like first year Wicked carding, like we didn't really do a whole lot for it, but every year we decided to get better and better, so we started getting like decorative pieces
Mhm.
and participation trophies, and like we have a special tablecloth just for that. Like we have a crate to where you get all your beer out of. Like we make it.
Yeah,
We improve it every single year.
that's
So,
the other
like,
thing. Like
don't-
if you're gonna like run, if you find that you've hit an idea that works and you're gonna run it again and again and again. at
Be
different
open to the
guys-
change
Yeah.
that you're gonna make. for it.
Make improvements and look to what improvements you can make over time. You don't have to do everything all at once.
And honestly, if it helps at all, like if you wanna have somebody be like, hey, honestly, I do this on all my panels. Any feedback by you guys, the attendees watching these panels, are as much appreciated. So like, I know, especially you guys are like first timers, but like if you wanna come to us afterwards and be like, I wish you talked more about this, like honestly, yeah, like that's an idea, we can take it to the next con.
I mean, we still got 15 minutes. Anybody got any
Oh,
other
yeah.
questions?
It's okay. Yeah, go for it.
So what if like you're interested in a panel that already exists, but you don't want to run it? Like, is it too weird to be like, hey, I'm kind of interested in this. If you need a co-panelist, like, I'm
That's not
open
weird
to
at all.
it?
No,
Okay.
not weird at all.
No, that is honestly like the most respectful way to go about it. So
Yeah.
it's weirder if you were to just like randomly like come up here and pull up a chair. I'd be
Okay.
like, okay, hi, how are you?
I've seen that
Like,
happen at panels.
yeah.
Yeah, I will say that there was a very firm incident last year at Cider Fest for 18 plus My Little Match Game,
Oh my
where
god.
a person came in who was not really supposed to be part of the panel, came up, pulled up a chair and sat down and was basically made themselves a part of the panel.
What was even more hilarious is I was a scheduled co-panelist for this, and I was running late from something, right?
Something.
That's how I run.
Yeah.
So I'm running in there. I immediately kind of like go on stage. I'm trying to figure out like where to sit. In the meantime, this is all going down. I have no idea what's going on, but
Yeah.
I'm like kind of standing off stage. I'm loud, so I can just, yeah. So I'm like kind of right here. Here's Gobi Raptor, okay? And I'm like trying to talk to her about like what's happening. I had I'm shitting you. A staff member grab my arm and be like, you're not supposed to be up here.
But not to the person who just made themselves a part of the panel.
No, not him.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, he said something, he was like, you need to get off the stage. And I was like, what? I'm a part of this. And he was like, not right now, you're not. And he pulls me off. And so I'm like standing literally like right here. This room's packed, okay?
Oh yeah,
So
it
I'm
was
like
standing
right
room only in
here.
that room, yeah.
And I'm like trying to figure out, then Taylor gets around to introducing his co-panelists. And then he mentions Amber Evergreen. I shot the staff member. I'm sorry, I'm petty. I shot him a look, and I went right back up on the stage. I was like, hi everyone, I'm Amber. Like,
To be fair, the guy who did that was also so exceedingly drunk that he just, decided to make himself the entire problem.
and for that staff member, I get his first intentions because there were guests of honor on this specific panel. So he was trying to prevent like any random attendee to just come up and sit there. But like, I promise I could have been drunk, but like, I promise I meant to be here. Like, I wouldn't just randomly show up.
So
I
that
reported that staff
that
member.
leads us into a great topic: sitting down into your first panel, and what can go wrong.
Oh, it's nerve-wracking as hell.
Yes, because
I gotta watch my mouth.
if you think something's gonna go wrong, it's probably gonna go wrong. Yeah.
If you think nothing is going to go wrong, it goes wrong. But then if you think everything's going to go wrong, then nothing goes wrong.
Yeah.
It's reverse psychology.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest limiting factor of most panels is going to be technology. So
You
that
can't
is,
find the Wi-Fi here.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't.
either have a problem with the Wi-Fi, or maybe your laptop decides this is the day it decides to die.
Or, hey, I have a Windows update right now.
Yeah, but I have to do this right now. And you're like, really? Or the projectors don't work, like you're having problems with that.
Microphones don't work.
Microphones don't work.
Speakers don't work.
Your best friends in these scenarios are your AV staff.
Yes.
Like, always lean on your AV staff for literally everything, and make good friends with your AV staff at a panel, because if you're like super nice to them and you're like, hey, I really need help, can you please come help me and stuff like that, they are going to bend over backwards to get you up and running.
Ponyville Cider Fest 24, so last year. Wicked karting. I know, I keep going back to this, I'm sorry. I know I'm an alcoholic, it's fine.
It's good.
This panel was
Yeah.
supposed to start at 9:30. We were given a 24-inch screen TV and one microphone. No table, just a couple chairs, that was it. I was like, no, we need more. We contacted AV, they busted their butt to get a projector running, HDMI projector for that, like the screen, like everything. I did not get this panel started until 10:20. We lost people because it was delayed an hour. It happens though.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't change it. Once we got up and running, we had some people leave because they had to pay $5 for a beer. But if they would have stayed, they would have realized that there were so many people contributing, like, the beer for the competition, that you didn't have to worry about paying. It was great. Like, it all worked out in the end. Yeah, and we got done at 1:30, and I was supposed to be guest starring on one of his panels.
Right.
Because originally, the schedule was supposed to be 9:30, 12:30,
Something like that,
12:30, you were starting your panel, and I was gonna be, once Teardown was done.
Oh, that's right.
Run
We were
down.
gonna run in and scream and then we'll run out.
No, I was gonna be Pinky in
Oh,
one of their
that's right.
stories,
That's
yeah. Because if you don't know, I can pull off a really cool Pinkie Pie voice, and if you want to stay for the 18+ stuff, then you get to learn her to say fuck a whole lot. But yeah, so it's definitely planned for the technical difficulties for sure.
Yeah.
Ways to prevent it though, like if you come in on date, especially if you're arriving a day earlier too at the hotel, like double check, get connected with the Wi-Fi, double check that your laptop's updated, make sure PowerPoint can run your slides, make sure your videos work, like start doing your technical stuff then, because then if you do run into an error, hey, you're in your hotel room, you got a day before the con starts, you can easily fix it right then and there, or figure out your ways to adjust it if it doesn't want to work entirely, but just prepare for those backups too.
Also attempt to get to
I sleep there.
your panel room at least 15 minutes before. That way you can sit down, try and figure out, make sure there's anything. I see our AV person if they had anything, yes,
Yeah.
we're just talking about how much we love you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, just that was all we were talking about. But yeah, so like usually there's an AV person that's going to be there in the room. Ask them if they might be able to help you. Like if you don't know how to get your laptop plugged in to the HDMI, if you don't know where to plug in your sound, how to turn on your thing. We sat here and did it all ourselves because we've done this a million times, but you may not know where the button is to turn on the microphones, or you may not know where the thing is to plug in the thing. That's what your AV staff is for.
A lot of times, I'm sorry, I keep dismissing you. The question over there. A lot of times, panel rooms will only require 2 things for you to plug into your laptop: HDMI for vision, and then a audio jack for sound. So if you look on your laptop and notice that you don't have either one or neither of those ports, start looking on Amazon or Walmart or your favorite place to shop
For adapters.
Yeah. Then that way you are well prepared well in advance. But definitely recommend having 2 USBs for one reason. One for your flash drive so you can hold all of your panel shit in one folder. The other for a mouse.
Mouse is good.
Yes.
Mouses are great because if accidentally touching things with touchpads can happen. I literally had a Bluey panel where we're 40 minutes in, everything's going great. I accidentally hit something on the mouse pad and it ended everything. So I had to go back and it was bad. I was like, mouse forever.
Yeah.
Touchpad no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to,
Yes.
or advice, really, because I've done similar AV stuff, not in the Pony world. If you have it on your stuff on like Dropbox or Google Drive or iCloud, make sure it's downloaded locally to your laptop.
Yep.
Because otherwise, the internet's not going to cooperate, and you might have to go to the Starbucks.
I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, remember your iPhone, your smartphones, you have a hotspot.
Yes.
Yep, you might
Always have
be
a backup to a backup to a backup.
Yes.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. I have, so like her relating about an adapter, we have a Chromebook that we use for conventions and stuff, and it does not have an HDMI port. So I had to buy a USB-C to HDMI adapter.
You should have just bought an Elite book at that point.
And
Hey, it looks, this is what that
it's
is.
technically her Chromebook, but
Oh, and this is brand new. I was carrying around a brick.
yeah, I stole your laptop. I'm sorry. The reason it does is my daughter over there. So yeah, so she's hanging out.
Glitch is amazing.
Oh, we're calling her out now.
What other questions about panels though? Yes.
Do you ever get submissions with the content attached to them, so you can like review even that, or is all of the pitch in the submission itself?
Mainly all the pitches in the submission itself. However, there 9, at least for most cons I've been to, the question will say, "Have you presented this before?" And some people will be linking their YouTube vlogs.
Yep.
And that's really cool because you can go and watch those. But if it's something like, for example, a Taylor panel, My Little Match Game, I've seen it before. I don't need to go watch the YouTube vlog. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I know what it's about. But yeah, like especially if I'm reading the panel description, I'm still confused. If I have the link to that YouTube, like especially if you presented it before, great, I can go and watch it. If I have any questions though, I have your contact information. I can just reach out to you and ask for more clarification. I actually had a panelist who, another panel we had to deny, they submitted an idea and I was like, hey, I love this, but I just need some more. It was very bland the way they submitted it. And I'm not gonna say who it is or what their idea was, but I was just like, hey, like I like this, but I just need more clarification. Can you tell me more? Never heard from this person again.
Wow.
So I was like, and I gave them the up until the time till when I had the final deadline for panel submissions because again, at Trotcon, we're trying to get the schedule grid together as fast as we can. So at that point, I was just like, look, I messaged you. You had like 2 weeks to respond, and I even sent follow-up saying, hey, just want to make sure you've seen my message. Still no response. So I was just like, okay, I guess I'm denying this panel because I don't have information. So,
Yeah.
sorry. And I wasn't, even if they would have been like, no, I'm so sorry. Like, unless it's like unless you had something personal going on, which can happen. Like, it's just, you have to be hard with those cutoffs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I've been very fortunate with Sequester Fest and Trotcon because all my submissions were late. But I was also trying to plan my own wedding.
Yeah.
So I didn't hire a wedding planner, so we saved money with that, and I was the wedding planner for my wedding. Don't get married. But I am also a very bougie bride and wanted to be big Disney princess at a hotel, and my wedding cost about 30 grand. So, if y'all didn't know that I was bougie, look at the ring. Okay, like
she definitely did. Yeah.
But
okay.
hey,
We still love her.
it turned out amazing.
It did,
I
it did.
loved the reception. I'm sorry, I will talk about it all
We have
day.
4 minutes.
Oh yeah.
So
Any final questions? You can even ask us about our favorite color.
What's your favorite color?
Red.
What's your favorite color?
purple.
I got a question for both of you. Who's
Yes.
your favorite pony?
Me.
What's your dog's favorite color?
Oh, she's
I said the
I mean,
okay.
what's Penny's favorite color?
I would say purple because my husband's favorite color is blue. So when you mix red and blue, you get purple.
That's
Okay, what was your favorite pony? She answered
that
herself.
that is a very hard question because right now it's a toss up between Rarity and Pit Petals.
Alright.
So
Well, that's good. You have a G4 and a G5.
Yes, I do.
G4, I would say Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight.
Twilight Sparkle and definitely Shining Armor. G5, Sunny Star Scout. I relate to, like, when the movie first came out, I was like, holy shit, this is me and a pony, 100%. Except I'm not an alicord. So.
And you probably don't go straight serving smoothies to people.
I do work in the food service industry, so yeah, kind of.
So
Unfortunately. But
one final thought I have is that as you go out and you decide that you're going to submit your panel, and you get done with your first ever panel, keep taking that energy and keep moving forward and keep doing different things.
We're both Disney nerds.
Yeah. So yeah, just keep doing that, and especially don't let yourself get in that position where like I'm just gonna run the same thing over and over. Do try different things. Maybe they don't all stick. Maybe they do. But you do try different things. That's been my goal when I've been doing this stuff. I've always been trying to do something a little different every year. I do a panel at a convention, and it's worked out nicely. You get a lot of range of experiences that way, and it really helps. So, yeah.
That's your final piece of advice.
Yeah.
I definitely say keep in the positive mindset. I see some people who angrily get upset and forced about it on social media, unfortunately, or even like, just hardcore vent and be like, I'm never gonna do this again. I'm never gonna be a panelist. And it's like, no, like that's not the point. Like you shouldn't be a panel. You should be a panelist because you want to. Like it shouldn't be because you have to. So, but just keep trying. Like honestly, I love seeing more and more ideas. So please don't be discouraged. Even if the idea sounds dumb in your head, like watching paint dry, like who the fuck would come to that? But one of my most successful panels to this day.
The dumbest ideas are always the best ideas.
Yes, 100%.
Honestly.
This was a dumb idea, and hey, we did pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want to follow us at all this weekend, those are our QR codes up there. I also have some business cards in front and stickers. Definitely enjoying the herd. Do you want to self-promote yourself in any way?
Hit the link. That's got a link to all of my content. Like I alluded to earlier, I do a lot of Magic the Gathering and a lot of D&D content. That has a link to where my articles are stored. I write for a website called MTG Goldfish every week. So if you're have any interest in like Magic or anything like that, that's a place to go look for stuff. And then we also have one that we're going to do tonight. If you come, I think we're in panel 1 for that. But come later on tonight around 8 or so. We're doing the Fizzle Pop Berry Twist Appreciation panel. AKA our favorite edgelord unicorn, Tempest Shadow. So come see us there, and we are debuting some extra stuff there because we have a Discord server for that we're unveiling the QR code for tonight. So people to come talk about their favorite little edgelord. So yeah.
Just because I have 20 million panels and events this weekend, come to my next panel, or our next panel, Ohio, the heartburn of it all. It starts in an hour. It'll be in panel room 1. Basically, just have Ohio bronies shit and talk about Ohio.
Fireball Jesus.
Yes.
Yes.
We will be
Tartarus
bringing
is
that up.
real.
But also, if you follow me on Twitch right now, I am currently doing a subathon that's been ongoing since April 12th. And I'm currently at so many subscribers that I am no longer at like. I'm showing this off all weekend.
Yep. My wife actually went with her and got hers done too.
Because I was a scaredy cat. But that's the panel. So yeah, you guys all have an awesome weekend ahead, and I'm sure you'll definitely see us around.
Yep.